Hello, 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 and welcome back to Roush Survives Minecraft. It is Thursday night. I am freshly home from work, and it's time for me to have a beer and play some Minecraft. I've got Minecraft loaded, and I've got deliciously hoppy beer in my glass. It's time to go. And man, we got to go fast, guys. It is 2:12 a.m. This night has gotten out of hand. I got sucked into a Skype call a little bit earlier with a couple of people from the server I play on, and it was a fun one. So in tonight's episode, well, I got sucked into the Skype call, and I just finished recording an hour's worth of commentary over my WWE AWA video that should hopefully go up sometime tomorrow night. God, I'm tired. I was falling asleep towards it. There's like one point, there's a match between Devon Dudley and one of my created guys where I'm sure the commentary I make makes no sense whatsoever because it was one of those moments where I like blacked out. Whatever it's about, like Purple Monkey Dishwasher, whatever, it's good to go. So anyway, in this episode, we are first going to check out how low our frames are. 16, 17, pretty low, friggin' awesome. Okay, we'll get rid of that so we don't kill people. We're going to get iron. We're going to get iron because we need a bucket as we're going to make that farm eventually. And I'm going to make more armor since we still only have our iron helmet on. And we're finally going to travel outside. We're going to find some water. We're going to find some sheep so we can make a bed and have a spawn point. I want to get more and more wood to have materials to eventually make a farm for some animals. I would love to find a carrot so I could start breeding some of the pigs outside with that in a farm. Hopefully this isn't going to lag too much as we go underground to get iron. Here we go. Optifine seems to be working pretty well. A little mouse lag there. So iron is what we are looking for. We're going to go nice and low. We're going to see what we end up with. I swear sometime off camera, I'm going to come through here and fix this ceiling because it's giving me nightmares and I'm not even asleep. Let's head over this way. I believe we had a little bit of an iron hole somewhere around here. Well, this is that first place we found it. So let's just, you know what, let's just dig here. Why mess with it? Let's go for it. Oh, do I have another shovel? I do! I don't have another pick. Problem. But we'll see how far we get. Whatever. So, it's Thursday, and we chat on Thursdays. And I'm going to start off in a vein that many of my videos have been going in recently, and we're going to talk about wrestling, guys, believe it or not. No, seriously, though, it's going to be very specific wrestling in that last Sunday on June 2nd, I went to a show here in Philadelphia at the Trocadero Theater, pretty reputable music venue, and it was for a wrestling company called Chikara. Chikara, if you don't know about them, I've referenced them in a few of my videos now. They are my favorite wrestling promotion in the world, and they're friggin' awesome. They were founded back in 2002 here in Philadelphia by two men, and they were a pretty low rent promotion for quite a long time. But they, oh, there we go, some iron. Good. They always operated under the tenets of their, oh, crap, we got a cave. Let's not be too dangerous. They always operated under the tenets of a very athletic style of wrestling. Most of their performers preferred to compete in the lucha libre style of wrestling, masked wrestlers, high-flying maneuvers, very, very entertaining and very crowd-friendly stuff. But on top of that, they've developed a reputation over the years of getting stuck in kayfabe, which I think is wonderful. For those of you that are not wrestling fans, as I am, kayfabe is just essentially what you call sticking to the made-up stories of professional wrestling. So if, oh God, I don't know, back in the early 2000s when Vince McMahon and Steve Austin hated each other, you know, boss and employee, rebel and corporate shill, that whole thing. If they were ever seen in public enjoying a smoothie together at Jamba Juice in LA, they would be breaking kayfabe and not doing the business very, very solid thing by doing so. Chikara is well known for maintaining kayfabe because the stories that they write for the characters they portray are original and worth maintaining. So they've been doing this for just about 11 years now, and I went to their pay-per-view show here in Philadelphia, kind of like a homecoming for them, because they are more of a national promotion now. They tend to tour. They're in Japan quite a bit. They cross-promote a lot with a few Japanese federations. Um, but I went to this show with my friend Tom, who had never seen Chikara before at all. And frankly, I had never seen them live. And I was very excited to do it. So the show was called Anniversario, Never Compromise. Their pay-per-view names are always great. Yeah. And the show itself was fantastic. The matches were phenomenal. The stories were well told, as they would be. And at the end of the show, something kind of weird happened. There was a final match of the evening. It was for the Chikara Grand Championship, the main title belt within the company. You know what title belts are. It was between two men, one of them named Eddie Kingston, the other one named Icarus. And about three-quarters of the way through the match, it looked like Icarus was going to win, and he was not the champion. Eddie Kingston was the grand champion of Chikara during the match. He was defending his title against Icarus, and it looked like Icarus was going to pull out the surprise victory, and it was even more surprising because Icarus, heading into the weeks leading up to the pay-per-view, was pretty much just a bad guy within the Federation who had completely turned his character over, and Eddie Kingston had been a pretty reputable good guy, or a babyface, as we call them, bad guys being heels. And each had kind of switched over. During the match, oh, we got gold, baby! But I need an iron pick. So, I guess let's go upstairs and make one of those and come back down and do this some more. Why go upstairs? We can make a furnace down here. Especially with all this coal. So during the match, the kayfabe owner of Chikara, a man by the name of Wink Vavasseur, he's actually not the owner, I'm sorry, the director of fun, the head business personality of the company, came out, stopped the match, and brought a makeshift security force out with him to forcibly remove everybody from the Trocadero. The stage was ripped down. People that were injured in matches earlier in the evening were seen still having their injuries attended to. It was a chaotic scene, and it was tough for people to tell whether or not it was indeed kayfabe or story, as that goes. I thought it was really cool, and I thought it was a really nice introduction to live Chikara for me and for my friend. That is until I got home, and I fell down the rabbit hole that is the Chikara message boards. Now, if you're a fan of Chikara, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are a few of you watching this, Mr. Fufu, who are already going to have gone down this road with me. But I went onto the message boards, and it seems that people are afraid that Chikara may have pulled the plug, may have actually quit as a company, and this is their way of doing it. And it has just led to a lot of questions, and it's also led to a statement of what Chikara is as a company. And I know that not everybody that watches my videos would consider themselves a wrestling fan, and I understand that, and sorry, beer break. I ask that you bear with me in this convoluted explanation of events as I stare at the beautiful flames here in my new furnace. Companies like WWE and TNA, kind of the two big wrestling companies in the world, they don't really get by on stories. They never really have. I mean, every once in a while, you'll have something really cool. Like in WWE, everybody talks about Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. A few people, like myself, talk about the Rock and Sock connection. And every once in a while, something nice and big comes around. But for the most part, the major companies are not story-driven. They've always been driven by putting big athletic bodies in the ring together and saying, hey, you're sweaty and oiled up, and you are too. We should fight to see who's better. And that's it. And that's what everything's about. That's why you fight for championships. The smaller companies that have to be creative to survive have to make these amazing stories. They actually have to sit and plan them out, and they have to build characters, and they have to do backstories, and they have to break the rules a little bit. Chikara is well known for it. I mean, their stories, even before this thing at the pay-per-view, have always involved science fiction and comic books and time traveling based on getting hit in the face a certain way. One of the major stars in the company is a time-traveling marching band leader. It's crazy, and they really go deep. So, with all these things in mind, many people are afraid that this is Chikara's way of ending the company, in that they wouldn't end it just by putting something up on the website and saying, hey guys, we're out of money, we can't do it anymore, it's been a fun ride, but we have to pack up the shop here. They wouldn't do that. That's not Chikara's style. What people are afraid is that they have run out of money and they needed to find a way to go bankrupt the only way Chikara knew how. So there are these theories that this convoluted work, or fake story, as you will, has been put into place to kind of lead people astray. Now, no matter what, to me, it seems like a work. It seems like it is something that is fake. I'm trying to think of other examples of works. Like, if somebody is injured on a wrestling show, whether it's WWE or TNA, and they're not actually injured, they're just injured for storyline purposes, the injury angle, the entire story is just a work. That's kind of an example of that. So there are people that are saying that this is a work no matter what. But what it's a work for, not many people know. And I don't want to get into the details. I do not. If you are a true wrestling fan and you want to learn more about Chikara, I believe one of you out there, Reese, if you're watching this, I'm talking to you right now, you wanted to learn a little bit more, I can direct you into this, but it looks to me like Chikara has indeed decided that it's time to end their company, and they're doing it in the most awesome way possible. They have created a story and backdrop to this story based on, you know, all the other stories they've been telling that involves paramilitary affairs, time traveling, space-time continuum rifts, interpromotional warfare, space monsters, and they don't come out and say any of it. It's based on the things they do, Twitter accounts they start, things that their staff members post on the message boards, and they're leading every one of their fans down this insane little rabbit hole right now. And I myself have done it. I've been down this rabbit hole for several hours this week, and it's making me very sad to think that the company I enjoy is coming to its end, but to think that if they are, and this is the way they choose to do it, I love them forever no matter what. That's basically what this part of tonight's little rant was. Just a rant on customer satisfaction, if anything. I mean, even in the face of breaking down and realizing they're not going to wrestle anymore, if these guys truly have gone bankrupt or decided it's time to just stop losing money and to, rest on our laurels a little bit, even if this is what they have done. Oh, wow. Hey, Lag. How you doing? They're doing it in a way that still pays service to their fans. You should see the possibilities, the conspiracy theories that are coming up online right now with this stuff. If you're a fan of wrestling, check it out. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it kind of cheapens it by me selling it to you now when it's so far into the process, but I still think as a wrestling fan, you'll enjoy the amount of effort they're going to. And if it's a work and they're still actually going to function as a company afterwards, then they're just building up one of the most awesome storylines I have ever played witness to. So, oh, I think I hear stuff down here. There's some obsidian. We might find some diamonds. Let's check this out. How much iron do I have? Let's go cook that up. Let's make the armor we need. We'll put a torch down here. So that's my little rant on Chikara. If you're a wrestling fan, check it out. Check it out where it is right now. They have canceled all further shows. They are selling all merchandise off the website. It does look like they have indeed finished, but it could all be a work, and nobody knows because they are awesome at telling stories, and that's that. Next in line, we're going to talk about restaurants because it's Thursday night and I work tonight. And Thursdays have been pretty notoriously slow, so I get to get out early. Tonight was different, though. Tonight was part of Philadelphia Beer Week, which Philadelphia has become a pretty big beer city in the last few years. We've collectively really embraced the movement towards craft beer and getting away from things like Budweiser, Miller Lite, and all the crap that everybody drinks. And we now have a week devoted to it where restaurants and bars that carry certain craft beers really prosper because they decide to carry them. So tonight we had a pretty big event, and we got pretty busy. It was from one of my favorite breweries in America right now. They're called Clown Shoes Brewing. They're up in Ipswich, Massachusetts. They make some of the best beers in the world, and they give them some of the coolest friggin' names I have ever heard. If you're of the legal age, please do some independent research. They're well worth it and a bunch of cool guys. But we had a big event. We were nice and busy right off the bat. I was serving in the dining room, away from the bar and away from the beer event. Now, we are a small corner bar, but we are in a neighborhood predominantly populated by young professionals with new families. That means lots of babies, lots of toddlers, lots of children in the neighborhood. And we are, although we're mostly bar-focused, we have a very good kitchen as well. And we have one of the better kitchens in that part of Philadelphia right now. So when parents are looking to go out for a night and they want to find a wholesome meal for their kids as well, they'll bring them to us because we cook pretty darn good food. Tonight was a bit of that old server bad luck that I don't get all that often, but I got tonight as I was triple sat at one point with 3 babies. 3 tables sat at the same time. Each table had a baby. Guys, that sucks. I'm just going to throw it out there. That's one of the worst things that can happen. And, I'm not just being like, I don't like serving. I'm not a server that likes to complain about things. That's not my forte. It's not my MO to be the guy that complains. But tonight was a really bad example of how it can easily go wrong if the parents aren't really ready to have their kids go out in public. They were whiny, they were crying, there was lots of, I want this, I want that bull crap. And these things happen, and I'm accustomed to them happening. It's not anything really new to me in that regard. Make sure there's nobody going to jump on me. I see lava. I see iron. I see obsidian or void. I don't know. There's a lot of iron. I need to get that, and I need to be careful because that's all lava. All right, this is going to be something I'm careful with for the episode. Um, so for the most part, I handled it pretty well. And something momentous actually came from the whole thing, and that's why I'm telling this story. Uh, we have this one family that comes in pretty often. They are definitely regulars of our business. They appreciate what we do, and we appreciate their business. The mother and the baby daughter are, well, the mother is definitely of some form of Latino lineage. I'm going to presume that she's Spanish, like actually from Spain Spanish. I've noticed the kind of what is it, the Catalonian accent where you do the th instead of s's. I forget which one it is, but there's a region, and I kind of picked that up in her voice, but I've never actually asked her. So that's my presumption. We'll see how right I am later. Um, but they come in quite a bit, and the cool thing about working in a family-oriented neighborhood restaurant, which is not something I've done before Lemon Hill, where I work now. Shouldn't have told you that, I guess, but whatever. That's where I work. You can look it up online. I've never really had that family aspect before. I've typically only worked in Center City, Philadelphia, where the focus is much more on just people going out and clubs and drinks and random city fun, and not so much bring the family out. Come on, I want to place blocks. Come on, I want to place a block right here. There you go. That's what I wanted. So one of the cool things about working in a family-oriented area is that as people bring their small children in, you get to watch those kids grow up. And I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's really cool. Like we have this one regular family that comes in all the time, and their little girl, like the first time I served them was about a week after we opened in January of 2012, last year. And this girl was like just 2 years old and was like still kind of bald, and like she was like really temperamental and just angry at the world because she didn't understand it. She would come in and scream, and her parents couldn't have a good time. They couldn't take her out anywhere. But then now we get to a point where she's over 3. We're like a year and a half later since we've been open, and she's just a doll. Like I've heard her first words. My name was one of the first 5 words she learned how to say in her lifetime. I mean, that's momentous. Oh, I gotta turn this sensitivity down. That's driving me insane right now. Try this out. Much better. No, it's just getting stuck. Okay, whatever. I can deal with it. But it's a great feeling to get to like see these kids grow up and see everything change. So this Hispanic woman and her husband and the woman's mother, they come in a lot with the family's baby. Now the baby was infantile when we first opened, and she's kind of starting to put together words now, kind of learning how to walk. But this baby and I have a very strange relationship. Now, I've waited on this family, I'm going to say about a dozen times in the year and a half that my restaurant has been open in Philadelphia. Um, every time I wait on this family, the baby poops itself at the table. And this baby doesn't just poop. It's not just like, oops, hee hee, ooh, okay, we'll go to the bed. No, this baby drops bombs in my dining room. Like, horrifying, earth-shattering. Why on earth would you feed your baby whatever you fed your baby to make her poop like that? Like, it's really just not okay. Um, and every time it happens, the baby stares at me. Just stares at me like it knows how much I hate that it has to poop in my dining room. The other guests I have are always put off by it. Their meals are always ruined by it. And it just makes everything awkward. The mom has to get her up and clean her off in the bathroom, and they leave early and they tip me poorly because they're it's not my fault, and I'm not saying they think it's my fault, but I am saying that they're kind of harried by the whole situation and don't really have time to think it through. So either way, every time for the last 11 times I have served this family, the baby has pooped at the table. Other people have served this family as well while I've been in the restaurant, and if it's not me serving, the baby don't poop. So obviously the baby hates me, and the baby is evil. And I mean, with the smell that comes out of her diaper when she poops herself, it is straight brimstone. This baby is the devil. She is the devil, and the devil does not like eating split pea soup or whatever the hell they feed her at home. So this family comes in tonight when everybody else in our little neighborhood decides to bring in their kids. So it's just this perfect storm, and I know it's going to be horrible. And I hate the fact that I have this bad luck as a server. So we get through the meal. We're working through it and everything like that. The little kid's acting up, and she's throwing her toys everywhere, and I'm just waiting. And then she gets really quiet towards the end of the meal, and I know what's about to happen. I know, and she's looking at me, and she's just staring at me, and I'm waiting to smell it. And then it never happens. Mom asks for the check. Grandmom pays for it. They've enjoyed their wine. The baby ate our Reuben-style pierogies, which, while delicious, would most definitely induce poop in a small child. And everything ended up okay. She didn't poop. She probably pooped as soon as she got home. I mean, she was way off schedule, but she didn't do it in the restaurant. And I was amazed. I mean, like, we had turned a new leaf in our relationship, me and the pooping baby. It was insane. And I was just very happy. I hate lava. And it was a momentous occasion, and I never want to wait on this family again because I'm afraid that my luck has officially been pressed to its limits by the entire experience here. But either way, I am happy that we made progress and that she can now dine with me, and I don't have to worry about her scaring all of my other guests away in a fit of poopy rage because she hates me and doesn't know how to express herself properly without pooping on everything. But that was that. Other than that, it was a pretty pedestrian night at work. The beers were really cool. I did get to try a new one. Everyone seemed to have a good time. Our kitchen's kind of going through a tough time right now in that, oh God, there we go. Delay on the button push there. And get up. No, not there. And not down here. Jesus Christ. Oh man, that was close. Let's get out of this horrible place with my laggy FPS. Let's keep going over this way, guys. So there were some issues where the kitchen timing wasn't working out just right, but we did just hire a new chef, and those issues should all be taken care of very, very soon in the future, which is great. We're moving into the summer, and things tend to slow down in the summer, but if we're hiring a new high-profile chef, which we are, people are going to come back to see the guy, which is great. So I'm happy with that, and the baby did not poop. I will have further updates on Poopy Baby in the future, but tonight the baby did not poop. Moving right along, there's another thing that's been kind of like interesting me lately that I thought I might share with you guys. I've told you before that I've been working on writing a book for a few years. Thank God, first diamonds, baby. There we go. This is a successful mining trip right off the bat. All right, so we're gonna go. Get them out. We are near lava. I don't want to mess around with them. I'd love to dig out the whole stack and just look at how pretty it is. But I don't want to lose any of them. Like this. You see this? This is a problem. This is a huge friggin' problem. Oh, man. We can do it. We can do it. We just gotta be smart, not stupid, and dig out this way. So, oh my god, this is gonna be impossible. We can't do this. Crap. If there's a will, there's a way. We're going to get this one first, no matter what. We're getting at least one diamond here. Damn you. Now, the rest of these, we're going to have some problems. And I don't want to burn alive. I don't want to do it. I don't want my first death to be chasing diamonds around. None of... Damn. So anyway, as someone who likes to write, I also enjoy reading quite a bit. There's more diamond down there. Can I put this here? There we go, that works. Okay. Is there anything going to fall down on me there? Maybe. So can I do this here? Thinking about it. I enjoy reading, and I've been kind of out of it recently. Oh God, yes. Got it. Come on, work with me. There you go. Sorry, I don't know. My keyboard is freezing when I play Minecraft. It's weird. I've never had that happen before. So I read quite a bit, and I am a history buff. I have actually on the back of my when I went to Rowan, I was a history major, and on the back of my left arm, I have a really beautiful tattoo of Rasputin, the Mad Russian monk. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's one of my favorite things about myself, actually, and it is very artistically done. No, don't, no! Did I get it? No, I didn't get it. It's gonna burn because I'm too slow. It's not gonna burn. Wow, the lava's perfect. Beautiful. I got the diamond. I don't remember if there were any more down there. We got 4. Let's just scope out around. Let's make sure I didn't forget anybody. No, right? That was it. That was it. That was the haul. Good haul. All right, let's get the hell out of here. I'm gonna die. Let's go back topside because I think, yeah, 14 more iron. I'll be able to make a bucket and some nice armor out of it. Let's just head back up and hope there's nothing waiting to kill us. So yes, reading. Reading is good. Writing a book. I also like to read quite a bit. I'm a history buff. So I like to read fiction to kind of influence the style with which I write. I like to see how other people do it. And I also like to read nonfiction. And I try to keep it in a perfect one-for-one split. Like every time I finish a fiction book, I'll switch up to something nonfiction, most usually history. So the book I am reading right now is a history book. And it's one that I've had on my shelf for quite a while now. My girlfriend's parents bought it for me for Christmas last year, and it is a history of the old Philadelphia waterfront. We're talking like back in the time when William Penn first came sailing across in 1693 and landed at what became Philadelphia and Pennsylvania and everything. And the historical facts of this book are friggin' awesome. There are things I never knew, like the first settlers of Pennsylvania dug their homes into the side of the bluff that eventually became Front Street in Philadelphia, which is, like lots of little cool stuff like that. All right, we're back up top. Good. Let's eat some puerca. Chops de puerca. Good. And let's cook some stuff. So I had iron the whole time. Lots of it, too. And the historical points that this guy brings up in his book are great. Like, there are things I just did not know about my city, but I love knowing about my city now. But there's a pretty damn big butt here, huh? Big butt. We go. Cool. We got all the armor we need. Come on, give me that stuff, and let's make a bucket and put it away in the chest just so we can. Probably get some shears too. Why not? Get the tools going. But the guy that wrote this book, as I keep going on tangents and then coming back from them very haphazardly, is kind of an asshat. I mean, pardon my French there, but it's my favorite word to use when I don't like somebody. He is an average historian in that the things he's writing about, he doesn't really back up with many facts. Like, he'll quote pictures and he'll say it's from this guy's collection, but he won't say where he found it. And those kind of things bug me as somebody who's written historical papers and essays and things like that many times in the past. It's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. But on top of all of that, he has this major issue with I-95. Now, if you don't know, if you're not from the East Coast or if you're not American or whatever, I-95 or Interstate 95 is a major highway that runs north to south along the eastern seaboard of the United States of America. It is one of the preeminent highways in America. It's very well known, and it basically connects Maine and New England all the way south down to Florida and the Gulf. I mean, it's a fantastic bit of roadway, and it made its way through Philadelphia in the 1960s. I forget the exact year when it really started coming through. But this guy, it runs through the Philadelphia waterfront area. This guy, in his little spiely book, at the end of every section, he has to say, oh, and this no longer stands here because I-95 destroyed it. And I don't mean that, like, I'm not exaggerating, like, to prove a point. Literally, at the end of every paragraph, he has to announce that I-95 destroyed whatever he was talking about. Like, this guy is so against a major highway cutting through his city that he has to write a book. I don't know. It's just bugging me because I know Philadelphia as a city that's been shaped around I-95. And I understand that there's a certain sense of historical loss. Oh, beer break. Associated with, you know, a major highway cutting through the city and getting rid of some old landmarks and things like that. But that's what cities are. They're perpetually growing. They always change their shape and their size and what makes them up. And his beef really bugs me because I'm a fan of progress. I'm a fan of things being built and being destroyed and being changed. I don't like things to stay the same forever. And frankly, without that highway, we'd have no access to other things. Without that highway, we'd still live in this perfect world where horse-drawn carriages run up and down Front Street, but we wouldn't have any of modern society either. And it just really bugs me, but I'm continuing to read it. My friends at work make fun of me because I throw the thing across the room every now and then. And I hate it because, like, my girlfriend's parents got it for me. And it was they barely knew me at Christmas last year. I mean, we had been dating for a little while, but I hadn't met them that many times. And it was a very thoughtful gift. And as I'm saying, I love the history behind it. The facts are great. But the guy that wrote it just makes me so angry with his crusade against I-95. I love I-95, and if there's anything you're going to take away from this video tonight, it's that Interstate 95 is my homeboy, and the guy, Harry K., whatever the hell his last name is, I don't feel like justifying him by reading his last name to you, he doesn't deserve to write any more books, in my humble opinion. So, with that, I think I'm going to end the video. We got 20 experience levels, we got diamonds, we got gold, we got all kinds of iron. We're ready to finally venture outside of the cave and find some exterior resources. We talked about wrestling. We talked about the Philadelphia waterfront, and we talked about babies that poop in restaurants. Guys, I don't know what else you want on your Thursday night. I'm happy. I got my beer. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to start to get it up for you by tomorrow morning. In the meantime, you all have a great night. I'm going to go to sleep so I can get up and go to the gym and kill it. This is Roush saying